Hi there, I'm Jen, this is Remembered Reads, and this is an announcement video for March Mystery Madness 2019. March Mystery Madness is a month-long annual readathon that happens every March that encourages people to read mysteries, thrillers, crime noir, crime thrillers, political thrillers, romantic thrillers, true crime, anything in that family of genres throughout the month of March. So if you normally hate mysteries, maybe you can look for a subgenre that you enjoy and read one. If you're a big mystery fan, maybe you'll want to read nothing but mysteries in the month of March. It's a fun time to explore the genre. March Mystery Madness was originally created by Elizabeth from LizziefayeLovesBooks and Troi from Troi Towel. And in the second year of its incarnation, they were joined by Disis19. And in year 3, Elizabeth wanted to expand the group and there were a whole host of hosts, and that's continuing on this year. The goal is to try to get as many people from as many different overlapping parts of BookTube involved. Despite the fact that a lot of people think of mysteries as being mostly whodunits or maybe thrillers, there's so much more to the genre than that. And so many more subgenres in so many different styles of fiction and non-fiction, because true crime counts too, that I think a lot of people who think they don't like mysteries because maybe they aren't interested in the Agatha Christie type whodunit or the John le Carré type political thriller, this is not the only thing that's out there. Although obviously if this is the kind of book you enjoy, you could jump right in and read a bunch of these. As in years past, there are a number of prompts. This year there are 5 prompts. Prompt number 1 is old, prompt number 2 is again, prompt number 3 is new, 4 is borrowed, 5 is blue. And because those ending ones start to sound a bit like a wedding joke, the optional bonus is to read a mystery that has a wedding scene in it. With prompts like this, as I said, you can interpret them more than one way. Old, for example, maybe that's a book with an old publication date. Something from 1919, maybe. Maybe it's old in the sense that it's something you've read before and you wanted to revisit. Maybe it's old in the sense that it's a Miss Marple, and Miss Marple is an elderly lady. There are lots of ways you could play with that. Maybe it's old in the sense that it's a historical mystery, so it's just set in an older time. Number 2 is again, which could mean that it's a reread for you. It could mean you're revisiting an author or revisiting a series. Or it could mean that you're reading a series that you'd gone off of because they all seemed a little same, as happens with a lot of whodunits, and you're going back to enjoy the formula again. Actually, anything formulaic could fit into that because you're watching the same thing play out with just different elements plugged into it. So that could be another way to look at that. Number 3 is new, so that could be a new release. It could be a new to you author. It could be a debut author. It could be a book set in a city that's called New something, like New Haven. But I feel like I see a lot of cozy mysteries set in places like New Haven, so that's why that came to mind. Prompt number 4 is borrowed, which could mean that you got it out of the library, which is always my favorite place to get books. It could mean you borrowed it from a friend, which actually, because this is a mystery reading, I will probably borrow books from my mother because she's a huge mystery person and I am staying with her at the moment. It could also mean that it's a book with a borrowing theme. So if you happen to be reading a book that's set in a library, because I know there are some cozy mystery series that have settings like that, that could count. Maybe it's a police procedural where the body is misidentified because the character had borrowed their friend's outfit. And number 5 is blue, which could mean the color blue. It could mean blue as in sad. It could be blue as in blues. And I feel like there would be a lot of noir-esque choices where you can imagine blues music in the background. It could be blue in the sense of blue language and they're just swearing all the time, maybe. It could be blue in the sense of certain jurisdictions have police uniforms that are blue, and they talk about them being the blue, I think. So if you were reading a police procedural, that could fit. So lots of fun potential with all of those prompts. Now, as I said, there are a whole host of hosts for this, all of whom have different specialties. You'll find people who read mostly pulp, people who read mostly cozies, people who read a variety of different styles, and I will link to everybody down below. There's a whole list of them. There are also going to be Twitter sprints and Instagram challenges and discussions on Goodreads. The Instagram challenges are going to come from Elizabeth's account, which is @LizziefayeLovesBooks. I'll include all this information below as well. The hashtag March Mystery Madness is going to be used across social media, although I will mention on Twitter the name is actually March Miss Madness as opposed to the full March Mystery Madness. And I will link to both the official Twitter, the official Goodreads, and to Elizabeth's Instagram account below so that you can join in on all of those. I think this should be a lot of fun. I will be back with a TBR for this before the month starts, and there will definitely be lots of mystery videos coming up. So if you're taking part, I'd love to hear what you're planning to read. You know, you don't have to read nothing but mysteries all month. You can just read a single one, and that will count. Anyway, that's it for now. Ciao.